And then I will share that to all the groups.
Okay.
Sometimes I feel like it's a good way to get things.
Yeah, I did not have time yesterday to work with the templates from the next set.
Oh,
I
okay.
kind of fooled with it last night. It was like it really wasn't lining up, and I thought, okay, I don't want to attempt that on TV without really kind of playing with it first. So I drug out the templates from
Hi, everyone. We're going to get started in just a minute. We are here live with Ann Moore. She's doing her time and stitches this morning using some of our templates. She's going to be using the templates from the Churn Dash block or Churn Dash box that we released this summer and some amazing embroidery. Are we still going to be doing some embroidery designs today, Anne?
one.
I'm sorry, you were muted. Go ahead again.
Oh, you're I muted on your end. Yes,
Yeah.
I have a couple of embroidery designs that I'm going to be showing, and I'm going to be showing you what I am doing with them because I think they'll look
Excellent.
fun.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and put our faces on the screen now.
Okay.
And so we are, Anne has been diving into exploring the templates from the Churn Dash block, gosh, for really the last 3 months. And you've been having so much fun. And I absolutely love what I see behind you there. That is gorgeous. I feel like it's a full project at this point. Like, what more could you do?
Well, today we'll be working on a border because
Oh, yes.
as fun as it is, I think it needs a border.
I
So
would agree.
showing you guys that.
Okay.
But I'm also gonna, and it incorporates a little bit of a embroidery, as did some of these. But
Mhm.
I'm also going to be showing you another project that I'm working on using the embroidery. And I
Oh,
just think
yeah.
it's so fun. I'm having a really good time with this.
It is. It's been so fun to see everyone kind of dive into new genres. We've, obviously with the embroidery, we've been able to do a lot more with our designs than we really ever have been. But even now, like we're exploring new types of projects, like we're doing more paper piecing, and we've got some really cool new stuff coming out in the next box that I'm super excited about. So. All right. Well, it is officially 10 a.m. So I'm going to let you take it away, Anne, and tell everybody about what they're going to be doing today.
Okay, well, hi everybody. Welcome to my little studio. And remember, we've been working for the last few months on this little project that came out of the summer box. And y'all have met Bartholomew, who's down here, up here, and Ralph. And then we added Penelope. And then last month we added Debbie Dragonfly. And so I am working on borders today, and I'm going to kind of show you again how to make Ralph, the little guy. and I'm going to show you some embroidery that I'm using in the project. And also wanted to kind of point out on this project what was embroidery and what was ruler work, so that you kind of get an idea of all the fun things that you can do. Let me see. Can you see it better, Stacy, if I'm standing right here? Oh, she stepped away. Okay, so I'm going to show you. This is off of the embroidery, and I'm doing the temple fuse on it with a really fun fabric. And when I come around to my sewing machine, I'll show you a little bit more about that fabric. And I did mention last month there is a quilt shop near me who has the this reveal fabric that I'm using. It's from 3 or 4 years ago, but she had a pretty good size bolt. It's called Lala's, and she is in Cold Spring, Texas. You can look her up, and also check with your local fabric store if you're wanting that same fabric. The overlay is Kona, and it's called Ocean. And so I know a lot of times students want to make exactly what the teachers have made, and we love that when you do. So that's just a couple of places where you can find the fabric if you want to. You can probably also look it up online. And you'll have to look at last month's video. I went in and showed you exactly whose fabric it is and what year it came out and all that. And I just don't have that in front of me today. But anyway, embroidery, ruler work, ruler work. I'm going to step behind the camera. That way I can make sure that you guys are seeing what I'm seeing. So bear with me a second while I come around. Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can see what I can see. Debbie Dragonfly. She came about last month. She is ruler work. This flower is ruler work, as is this one. This one is embroidery off of the embroidery that Sew Steady has been coming out with. I think you can see. Let me check. Yeah. These little guys, they are ruler work. All of this entire block is ruler work. And then I started incorporating, this is embroidery, as is this butterfly and this flower. And then this butterfly is ruler work. This flower is ruler work. So you kind of get an idea. I mixed both genres into my work. So today we're going to work on a border to go on this. So I'm going to bring you around to my uh, sewing machine so we can talk about that a little further. All right, and before I put this on the stand, I will go ahead and just kind of show you what we have. This is off of the spinning ribbons embroidery that will be available to you. Stacy, tell me, is that the one that is coming in the next box?
No, that is a bonus buy for but it is a new embroidery collection that we are releasing on the 19th. So we're doing two different lives. We're doing one on the 18th for just the box, and then on the 19th for all of the other new items that we're releasing for fourth quarter. So we got lots of fun stuff coming out, but isn't that a gorgeous design?
Yes, and I first made it on black just to kind of test it out and see what I.
Mm-hmm.
And when I saw it, I said, "Oh, that has to go for my border." So 6-inch by 10-inch version. And when you get your embroidery work, a lot of machines today you can't upsize an embroidery design. Some machines you can, but a lot of them you can only go, say, maybe 20%. So in the embroidery set, you can go 6-inch, 8-inch, 10-inch, and 12-inch, and you might could even go 4-inch. I'm not really sure on that, but every single design has it in several different sizes so that you can decide which one you want and which one would work best. And I poked myself with a pin, so hopefully I won't bleed all over the project. But I decided to make this a 6-inch block, And this is, like I said, it's called Spinning Ribbons. This is a bonus set that you're going to be able to purchase. And then over here, I left a space because I'm not really good at joining embroidery end to end like you're supposed to be able to do. I'm learning, but I'm not there yet. But I thought, you know what? This would be a fantastic spot to do maybe one of the flowers from our set of templates. And also, I want to put Ralph. He's the smaller guy. And then when I come on down, I've got another spot, and I feel like that's going to be the butterfly. So she'll go right there in the middle, and then down on the end, well, I have two big openings, but maybe down here, maybe some more of those little flowers. Now I'm going to show you how I have this layered. For my embroidery only, I left the back exposed. I didn't want my embroidery work to kind of show through on the back side of my border, because as you can see, let's look here. There's a couple of little threads in here that might not look all that pretty in my the back of my border, and so I'm joining it now. For when I do my ruler work, I would like it joined at that time. And then probably, you know me, I'm going to finish it out maybe with a little bit of stippling. And when I put this together, I have my Temple Fuse on the back of my main fabric. And then I have that reveal fabric that I want to use. And it has kind of a rainbow effect. So if you look across here, it kind of goes to different colors. And I was going to say the green is kind of dominant throughout there, but it's actually not. It goes from like a black to a green to a black, and then different things again. So that's how I layered that. Of course, I've got my layer of batting. And since I was putting in this piece of fabric, I didn't feel like I needed an additional stabilizer in the batch. If I had been working it by itself, I probably would have put in a stabilizer. And then here is my backing fabric that I will go ahead and I will do a ruler work through that. Now I want to show you a couple of other things that I am working on. This is from our ruler work again. And this is the most recent one, not ruler work, I'm sorry. This is from the embroidery. And this one is from the Spinning Ribbons collection. And so I just decided I would put two of them together. I just thought that would be kind of fantastic. And you could actually put a whole row of them together, but I'm not good enough to do something like that yet. Like I said, I'm working on it, but I'm not there. Now, I want to show you, this is also from Spinning Ribbons. I'm sorry, this is from Churn Dash. This is from the actual set that's in the summer box. And so I am turning this into placemats, and I'm going to use all of our different designs from all of the boxes that come out. And here's what I'm doing. That is my placemat. That is going to go in my dining room that has kind of a cinnamon color and gold. But I want to show you too. This is from Spinning Ribbons, this particular one. This one's from Churn Dash that's in the box now. Spinning Ribbons, like she said, is the one that's going to be available for purchase, but not quite in the box. This is what I did for the back of my placemats. So all I have to do is turn them over for Christmas. There again, I didn't want my embroidery to kind of come through onto the back, but look what I did around the edges to kind of lock that down and into place. I went ahead and did my good old traditional stippling. I'll get it in a minute. So there you are. And I think that's going to be fun. They'll all be different. I'm hoping to not have any two alike. And there's just so many different designs in here. So we're going to have a good time with that. All right, so I'm going to bring you around because we're going to be working with Ralph today. I'm going to use the inside of this oval. This one made Bartholomew, but Bartholomew is a bigger Bumblebee, and I just felt like he was going to be a little bit too big for this area, especially if I want to maybe incorporate a couple of little flowers in there also. So this is going to be Ralph. And for Ralph's wings, we're moving over here. And I will be using this little guy right here. And you get two templates, or you get one template in this package. But if you look at it, you get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 really things or templates that you can do with this. It comes in pieces of 1, 2, 3 pieces, but there's just so much you can do. And then we probably will also add in the, I have them handy somewhere close by. For if I get into Debbie Dragonfly today, I will use one of the other templates that came with the set. The Churn Dash has this fantastic design with it. So I will be, if we have time today, I'll add her too. But we don't know. We'll see what we can do. All right, so I'm going to put you over on my, let's see. Oh, that needs to go this way. All right, and Stacy, be sure and let me know if this is not showing, if it's not showing up as landscape.
Okay, I will. I decided that I would let you get it all squared away without everyone watching that part. So,
Perfect.
uh,
Thank you.
so we have another live today, guys. Pam always does her first Friday, and so she's going to be doing a live today at 1 p.m. And she's actually going to be showing off a new template that we haven't done a whole lot with, which is the Sarah Diggy linear channel. So kind of a fun one. And so let's see here. I know Anne, you're almost ready. If you haven't already, we've got a few different opportunities for you guys to win. We are doing our next fall launch. We just mentioned that on the 18th. So the 18th, we're going to be giving away the brand new box for one lucky person. That could be if you're already a club member. That could be for someone, maybe for a holiday Christmas present. And on Friday, we're going to be giving away a whole bunch of goodies because we're going to be highlighting all of our new items and giving one of each away. So definitely want to take advantage of that opportunity as well. So sign up for the launch, and then you'll have the opportunity to win all of those goodie things and or join us. And do you have that set up now? Nope, you're still working on
Yeah,
it?
I do. Yeah, I'm pretty much. Oh, there it is. I was looking for this last template. I had
Oh,
loaded
there it is.
out what's
Okay,
going
great.
to be off. So there we go. Yeah, it's kind of crazy today. All right, let me bring fabric over and get you right in front of my machine here. Okay, I think that looks like y'all will be able to see. I'm going to turn the light off that's in my machine though, because it seems like to me you can see a little bit better if I don't have that's quite so vivid. There we go. Yeah, I like that better. I think y'all can see it much better. Okay, to make Ralph, we need a couple of pieces of fabric, and these actually will go on top. And I'm going to bring this up a little bit and over. These actually go on top of that border. And so and they need to be adhered down. So I have already started my template fusible on these. And you want both of them to have the fusible. That way, if you don't want all those little rough edges and things like that. We had a real good discussion. I taught at a class in Shiner, Texas, 2 days this week, and then also did a presentation for them. And we had a little discussion about our Temple fusible there. And one of the ladies mentioned, she said, "Wow," she said, "I'm not seeing little raw edges. I mean, I had a lot of raw edge applique, but she said, I'm not seeing it fray looking. Why is that? And I said, well, it's because I use Temple Fuse, and I've got got one handy. If y'all don't know about this stuff, you really do need to know about it. It's from So Steady. It's called Temple Fuse. Tube of it is 15 inches by 10 yards. And it's wonderful if you want to do any kind of raw edge applique. I have friends that do a lot of applique, and one that makes big quilts using raw edge applique. And she usually has me bring her 3 or 4 rolls at a time, that she likes it that well. And other friends that do the applique, they do the same thing. They want this particular applique fusible because it works the best and it keeps everything down. I had done a sample a few years ago with another product that I was using, and our new Temple Fuse. And when I got finished with the little project, I took it in the house and threw it in the washing machine and threw it in the dryer. The other project came out puffy and the edges had pulled up, but the side that had the Temple Fuse on it was still flat and all of the edges were still down. They had not pulled away. So, which one do you want on your quilt? So, anyway, that's the best stuff out there. All right, so for Ralph, I'm going to put 2 pieces of fabric together. They both have fusible on the back. And then I'm going to put this on top of the other. And I'm going to bring my border around, get trash out of the way. And then I'm going to look it over, and I have a pretty good area in here that I can work in. But I remember I want to put a couple of flowers in there too. So I'm going to decide where would I like for Ralph to go. He can be, maybe I would say maybe right in this area. And I don't want to go into any of this design, so I may just put a pin or something to mark that, so that I know that there is a design over here that I don't want to go into. And then here's this is where I'm going to cut it off. So maybe I'll move this pin right here. And this is just kind of holding my backing in place until I get started really good. I've got a piece that's probably a little bit too long. I think I'll go ahead and just get a pair of scissors and cut part of that away because I know I don't need it all. I do want to make sure, though, that I have enough uh, room for his little antenna. So let's go ahead and just get that out of the way. And I know I'm showing y'all kind of everything that we do, but I think that's important for you to know, for you to kind of see how we do everything. The other day when I was teaching the class, something happened with my machine, and I thought, okay, wait, that's a perfect teaching moment. And so I took everything apart and showed them what I would do to make a repair on what had happened with my machine. I think it had a thread throw up or something like that. But invariably, that is going to happen to you too whenever you are stitching. And so you need to know that happens to us, and you need to know that there is a way to fix it. So grab glasses because I've got my machine dark and it's going to be harder for me to see. How many of you have been working on like Ralph and Bartholomew and Penelope? I hope some of you have. To me, it's been a little fun project, and I've really enjoyed working on it. Let's move you over closer and maybe down a little bit. Yeah, there we go. All right. And so for Ralph's body, I want the inside of this template. That's going to be his little body. And remember, I didn't put feet on him because typically that's not something that you would see with a bumblebee. So here we go. And I've got to remember, I've got a pin right here, but I've got little wings that are going to be coming along too. So I may move him up just a little bit. See, that pin would be in the way. And if you remember from before, I made his little body double stitch where I did some traveling. Let's bring you over a little bit more. There we go. And needle down, needle up. You always do that. And always bring up your bobbin thread. There's usually a really good way to do this. I know Donnell has the perfect way. She's got some kind of little tool and she reaches under there and kind of flosses it. And I don't have that tool with me today. So anyway, I'm starting here at the top because that's also where I'm going to put his little wings. And I'm looking for my, yeah, I don't see my gloves. I typically use gloves, but they're not in front of me. Also on my template, I have our stable tape, and I actually have it double-sided because when I glanced just a minute ago, I thought, oh no, I have it turned upside down, but I don't. I have it on both sides so that my butterfly can be turned whichever way I want her to turn whenever I'm using this butterfly template. Stacy, you might want to
I think
mute.
so. Yeah. And I think we have to do this. Well, I was planning on doing the same with Nan's unless you want to reformat it.
You might want to mute, Stacy.
Yeah, and then it's just pretty. Yeah, exactly. And actually, I put like additional little like tips.
Stacy,
So
you
like
might
on
want
the
to mute.
inside of both of those, I have paper piecing tips for Pam, and then for hers, I have quilting and the hoop tips. So then it fills the space.
Stacy, you might want to mute. Here we go. Okay, this is called traveling when you actually go around this a second time. And here you go. I'm going to go ahead and clip these threads just to get them out of the way because I don't want to keep running into them. Now it's time for Ralph to get some antenna. So let's pull that up. And I'm going to put this right here. See if I can bring down a little bit of light. There we go. All right. And this little template right here has the perfect little antenna for Ralph and Bartholomew, actually. All right. Let's move that out of the way so I keep bothering it. And I'm going to bring this around this way so that y'all can see the antenna being made. And you can see he's going to have a pretty good little antenna. Now, I don't know how big Bumblebee antenna really are, but that's okay. This is whimsical and we can have them as big as we want them to be. So here I go. I'm going to travel all the way back down. There we go. And then I'm going to flip it. And that's why I have my stable tape on here double-sided so that I can flip this. Let's go ahead and make the other one. Got off a little bit, but you know what? That does not bother me. I'm going to stop in a moment and I'm going to show you what I was talking about. Right there, and you can just barely see it, but in the overall quilt, I don't think it's going to be noticed. I got off just a little bit. That doesn't really bother me. I'm leaving that because I think it's going to be just fine. I'm going to bring this back around and I'm going to come down just a little way so that I can go ahead and start putting in wings. And I'm going to free motion quilt over to it. I'm going to just down a few, let's see, about right There, looks like a good spot. Oops, sorry about that. And I've just come down about a half an inch roughly is where I am. And then we're going to put some wings on this little guy. I love this template. We have this wonderful little needle channel that we can use to put this template on and off of our fabric, and it's just fantastic because before we had a what looked like a puzzle piece, and you had to take that loose and put it inside, over under your ruler foot, and then you had to put the puzzle piece back in. And sometimes people would be a little bit careless, I guess, with their puzzle piece, and they lose it. So would be on the floor hunting the puzzle piece. And I'm doing everything double stitched just so that it has a more prominent look to it. Okay, there we go. Now let's get this out of the way and let's go to the other side and put his other little wing in. Coming down about a half inch, same as I did before. Coming through that needle channel. There we go. And then I'm just kind of eyeballing it to see, do I have his little wings about the same span? And it looks like I do, so I'm just going to keep going. How many of you are coming to the Quilt Festival this year? I hope to get to see you there. Okay. Our little Ralph is about to have 2 wings, so he can take flight. Now, I've got those little, his little body to make, so I'm going to use the curve part of this template to make that little curve part of his body. It's not going to be an exaggerated curve, but it'll be enough that you can tell that he's a little bumblebee. So I'm going to come across and come back across. Going to drop down. That first one is going to be a black line. Let's see. Yeah, no, this one's going to be a yellow line. So I'm going to make it a little bit longer because when I go in to cut this, I want to make sure that it kind of looks like it's even as even as the black one. So the black one that will be next will be kind of narrow. And you'll see when you're cutting it, you'll see why we did it that way. Okay, I'm going to come down. Remember, the little band that's going to come in between is going to be kind of skinny because it's not going to be cut into. So here we go. I made it real skinny, so wow, poor little fella. This will be the last one that we put in. And let me turn this towards me a little bit better. That way I can kind of see it better. Remember, the one we just made is going to be cut into. Okay, so I can remove this. And I'm going to come up and do 3 or 4 little stitches. Always bring up your bobbin thread, and it looks like it's up. I see it right there. So I'm going to go ahead and cut that, kind of get it out of my way. And had a little extra fuzz, so let's get that out of the way. Okay, that little guy is going to become our butterfly. I'm sorry, not my butterfly. He's going to become my bumblebee. I'm going to cut a little bit away from him so that I have more room to make my flowers that I want to go around him, but I'm going to give it a rough cut. I'll come back in later and do just a much better, smoother cut. But I know I don't want to. I don't want his body. Sorry about that. I just keep bumping it. Oh well, maybe I won't make you dizzy. I want to try to keep it where you can see this being cut away, just in case. It's kind of tricky to do it in front of a camera that's right in front of your face. Okay, got that out of the way. Now let's cut some more of this out of the way. I think I'm going to go ahead and trim out around his little antenna so y'all can see that kind of close up. And I'm going to move this over that way so that I have a little more room to work. So bear with me while I do that. And I want to come in, make sure I have it in front of the camera. And I want to cut fairly close to that little line that I stitched. I want to do the same thing again on the outside part of it. Boy, y'all are really getting a close-up view of me cutting something. Wow. And it's going to be left kind of wide because that's just how it works out. So let's do the other side of it too. Okay, and you're starting to see his little antenna take shape. This is just a rough cut, getting over to it actually. Let me bring this to my hand. Be really careful because you don't want to cut your blue fabric underneath, even though you have some really pretty fabric below that. You really don't want it into your bee. All right, and then I'll cut this away, and that way you can kind of see his little antenna take shape. I love this method. This lets me incorporate color, print fabric into my designs. Because when we actually quilt things on a print fabric, it's not really something, you can't see our work as instructors. You don't really see the quilting. I do a lot of that kind of work just for my own quilts, but you don't get to really see it. Okay, have I got, yeah. Okay, so that's kind of his antennas cut away just a little bit. Now I will come back in later on, probably today, and give it a little bit more of a closer haircut, you might say. Now I want to go ahead and put in a couple of little flowers because I think that's going to be needed. And if I look at that whole thing, I could probably put one right in here. I can put one up here. I can put a littler one maybe here. And maybe something tiny down here. I probably won't do anything tiny down here today, though, because I would really need to trim away from my little bumblebee, and I don't really have time to do all of that. So let me find my template. Okay, there we go. And I've got an 8-point crosshair ruler handy, so let me grab it. Well, I said it was handy. There it is. All right, this is an 8-point crosshair ruler, and it's my big one. Sorry, typically I use a small one. And let me tell y'all a little secret too. Of course, I have the 8-point and the 6-point. But there is a package of these that are small. And they have a 5-point, a 6-point, and an 8-point in it. And they're about, I don't know, 5 or 6 inches. They're great size. Look at, there's my chalk. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and put an 8-point crosshair in here. Yeah, let's see, let's go right here. And then I like a little crosshair right in the middle. So let's do that. Okay, so this one's going to have 8 points on it. A lot of mine that I've put in this particular design, a few of them have had 8 point, but some of them have had 6 point. I think a 5 point would be beautiful if you wanted to make, say, a plumeria, or I think dogwood has 4. So you could do a 4 easily using this and these 4 right here, and not having these little joiners. But the sky's the limit as to what you can make as far as your designs. Like this one is going to be an 8 point flower. I'm trying to get this down low enough. There we go. There we go. Trying to do that and not let y'all see my feet that desperately need a pedicure. That's on my list for today, actually, to go and take care of that. And so I'm going to needle up and needle down right here in the center and bring that up. Bring up my bobbin thread. You always want to do that. And the reason, and I tell you this every single time, but it's worth repeating, the reason you do that is because invariably somebody is going to see the back of your quilt. If you've got it maybe hanging in a show, a judge show or something, the judges are going to look at the back of your quilt. If you have put it on a bed in your house, somebody's going to flip that back to maybe get in bed that night. So they're going to see the back side of your quilt, and you want it to be as pretty as the front side. So make sure that your tension is really good. And I've got a setting that I move my machine to that just kind of automatically puts it into the tension that I need. And if you look under here, my tension's pretty good. There are a lot of machines out there now that will move into the proper tension when you tell it you're going to do ruler work. But if not, then you might need to adjust it a little bit. And typically on this particular machine, if I'm working on tension, then it normally defaults to 5.25 on this machine. I put it down to about 4, and that works really, really good with this machine. There are a few machines out there, though, that you need to go to a higher tension number instead of a lower, but you just have to test it and see. And I always keep a little piece of fabric like this to test with. And you can see this was some testing I did another day. This is probably a block that I was quilting in a class and then didn't finish it, so I cut it up to make little sample pieces, and they've got batting in them, and they're just cut up small so that as I fill them up with testing, I can just throw them away. Now I'm going to test around with my template and just make sure, like I wanted to make sure I wasn't going to interfere with his wing. I wanted to make sure, okay, yeah, that's probably going to go into my border, maybe just a tiny bit. I'm okay with that. If I have to cut a little bit of a border away, that's not going to be a really big deal to me. Let's bring you over more. There we go. And then I would just keep coming around just to make sure that it's going to land where it needs to. And it does. It looks good. All right, so let's keep going. I'm going to hold my threads right here, if I can catch them. I've wrapped it around, so that's what's going on. And I don't have my gloves. I took them in the house to be washed the other day, and I suspect that's probably still where they are. If you need gloves, I highly recommend them. I was struggling in the beginning. I was pulling on my fabric with both hands, trying to hang on to it, and also move the fabric at the same time and not move my template. And a wonderful teacher that I had let me borrow her gloves to see if that helped. And it made all the difference in the world. So I have been a glove girl for about the last 11 years because that's when I first met her. All right, I'm going to bring this around. I'm going to raise you a little bit. And of course, I'm going to wiggle the camera a little bit because, got to do that. So here we go. Let's keep going. And I promise you, next month, my designs are going to have the stuff from the new box. I looked the other day and it is on its way to me, and I can't wait to get it so that I can start playing with all the goodies that are going to be in that box. You know, all of us teachers, we're professional as teachers, but we are not professional at video. So you kind of get the raw deal here. You get what we get. Maybe one of these days, I mean, who knew that we needed to be actresses to be able to teach quilting? But when COVID came along, that is exactly what happened. And I've loved it. It's been a lot of fun and we laugh about it, but we have a good time with what we do. We really do. I'm really happy with the way these blocks have been working out. And my sister named this for me. This quilt is going to have a name. She suggested that I name it Annie's Garden. So Annie's Garden, you might see Annie's Garden in a show. Who knows? She may get a little more finishing touches to her. Like, who knows? She looks like she might even call for rhinestones. Not really sure about that yet, but we'll see. Okay, I've got one more. And then I'll pull this away and let you have a look at it. I'm going to do 4 tiny stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then bring up my bobbin thread. Get this out of the way. There's my bobbin thread. See that right there? I can pull that up even more. I can hang on to it and cut all of that right there. If y'all don't have these little scissors that have this curved tip to them, I recommend that you find some. Your local fabric store should carry something like that. But when you're doing any kind of work like this, and even embroidery, you can get right down on top of that thread to cut it. So here we go. Let's back this off a little bit and take a look at it before we make another flower. There's Ralph. Ralph the Bumblebee. He's headed towards a flower, like he is probably going to collect some nectar and go make honey. Now, I don't have enough room for another big flower like that, but I have, let's bring this over. I have these little ovals that make cute flowers also. And I have a little bit of a line coming out here. I don't know, I might want to bring that in. Let me see. Let me think about that a minute. Or I may just have a petal connect to it. Something like that, or come in between. Let's see. Again, I've got that big 8-point crosshair ruler with me today. The other one's over somewhere. I'm not sure. And I've laid my, there it is, looking for my clover, my choco liner. Let's go ahead and put another flower in. I think it would fit right there, and if I want to, I can curve this a little bit so that flower might kind of point towards that. And if I wanted to, I could even just kind of connect it a little bit whenever I'm making it. I could take a little stitch up towards it or something. All right, and then again, I want a crosshair in the middle of this. Okay, almost there. him out of the way. Okay, and then I can decide, do I want the bigger of the ovals? But let me see if that's actually going to work. Remember, I've got to come in like a quarter of an inch down so that that would actually work. And I've got a spacing gauge that I can do that with. Looks like I'm in the clear here, but when I'm getting over close to Ralph, am I in the clear? That's what my concern is. And it looks like I would be in the clear there, so I'm going to go ahead with that. It looks like I'm in the clear kind of all the way around. I may run into my border, but I'm okay with that because that could be, that may end up getting hidden. No big deal. So let's go ahead and bring this under. I'm going to clip some of this fabric out of the way because we don't need it. There we go. Okay, and we can use that bigger flower, our bigger oval, to make a flower. So let's do that. I'm going to bring my needle up. Let's bring you back over where you can see a little better. Okay, and hubby came in to pick up something and he was actually quiet. So y'all give him a hand clap. He's usually pretty noisy when he comes around. He doesn't try to be. He just that's just the guy in him being that way. Okay, so we're ready to make this little flower, and I'm just doing single stitch. I'm not doing a travel because my flowers don't need to be that prominent. And this one's still big enough that I probably will do a little bit of reveal work on it. It's tiny, but it's not as tiny as the littlest one I can make. The littlest one that I can make, I don't typically do any reveal work on it because um, number one, you would only be revealing about a sliver, and number two, that is a huge pain to reveal, so I typically don't. You need to think about things like that when you are doing reveal work. How much of the reveal is actually going to be seen if you decide a little skinny piece? If it's not going to be a lot, you might want to just think about maybe not doing reveal work because it would just be so tiny. And I've done little tiny pieces, and they like a little circle, a half-inch circle. I no longer do reveal work on those because they're so small. They don't really show and they are hard to cut. So if I'm going to reveal a circle, it's going to be a 1-inch one at least. And then of course I'll go up higher too. I'm liking this. I'll pull this away in just a moment. Looks like we have about 7 minutes left. Oh, there we go. I almost got to the wrong line. Oh, that seems odd. Why isn't that matching up? But that would be why. Here we go. The more I look at this quilt and the way it's taping shape, the more I'm seeing this may need rhinestones. It just may need rhinestones. All right, let's bring up the bobbin thread. And right there, you're just going to bring your needle down and back up right where that thread originally came out. There's my bobbin thread right there. So I'm going to grab all of it and cut it away. Now let's take a look at this and see what we think. I'm going to bring this up a little bit so that you can see this whole thing. I think that little guy and then the cutaway is going to add a lot to this design. And I'm not, like I told y'all, I'm not good. I haven't learned yet how to join these pieces. So that's why I left a space in here. I think another little flower, probably the little bitty one, is going to go over here. And what else? Little bit of stippling, but I will change to a, excuse me, I'll change to a blue thread to do that. Looks like a rhinestone should hit right inside here. These are going to be cut away, so of course I'm not going to do rhinestones on that. But look at this little piece behind here. That would be perfect for a little rhinestone. Over here, this design is just way cool, and if I'm not mistaken, in the spinning ribbon they have even more of this design, and you're going to be able to you'll probably be able to go online and look at all the different designs that will make. If you look us up at the quilt festival, you'll be able we'll be having some machines in motion so that you can actually see this being stitched off. I don't know about y'all, but I love watching um, embroidery being stitched off. It just kind of, it's mesmerizing. And I noticed the other day my husband was in here and he walked over to the embroidery machine which was going, and he just sat down and started watching. And that was so funny watching him watch my embroidery machine work, of all things. Okay, I'm looking at this flower right here and thinking maybe it needs to come over here also. And then maybe a little one right here. I just want this border to be really, really busy. And yes, I know I'm going to have 4 borders, but 2 of them are going to be a little bit narrow. This is going to be the wide one. But I just think that that whole thing is going to just end up being so much fun. And I'm thinking down here. And if y'all would, in Westerly by me or in the comments under So Steady, we get in there and read those. If you see an idea, I wish you would pass it along. When we were doing videos before, you could actually give us comments in the section, and I'm not seeing that now. So, but I do love y'all's comments, and I like for you to tell us think is going.
There's lots of comments coming in,
Oh,
and
cool.
they yeah. They do. They love all of your designs, and they also love watching stitching, embroidery stitching.
Well, good.
Actually,
I know
Diane
the only
Deacon
one.
said it's very therapeutic, so
Mm-hmm. It
I tend
kind of
to agree
is.
with that. Yes. There was a question that came in. Someone said, "What type of thread and weight of thread are you using?"
Oh, wonderful question. This happens to be a polyester. It is Wonderfill, and it's a gold. This one is, I'm going to read this off to you. It's a 40 weight. It's Wonderfill, and it's PF 3257. That way, because I know a lot of students would like to just duplicate what we've done. So that's why I try to let you know um, exactly what I used. If if you're wanting to duplicate it exactly, because I'm honored when somebody wants to do that. You know, and I
Absolutely.
love it too when
Yeah.
they do their own thing. Oh, Ralph and Bart and Dragonfly are in my plans. Well, thank you. I'm glad that y'all like that.
Excellent. Well, as always, you do gorgeous work, so I can't wait for you to share again what you're going to finish here, and we'll look forward to having you do some posts in Westerly by me as well.
I absolutely will. What I'm trying to do is, as I finish a block off, I will post it on Westerly by me so that you guys can see it.
I love it.
And I go in and watch for your comments. So, yes, please like and comment. We appreciate that so much. That lets us know that you're watching and that you like what we do.
Absolutely. I did just post a link to winning the next box and some of our new products that we're going to be launching, including this gorgeous EmbroideLee collection that Anne's showing off here today. So go ahead and hopefully that sign up link works for you. It sounded like there was someone that wasn't able to make it work in their email. Hopefully that works. And but we would love to see you there and have you be part of it. So, Anne, did you have anything else that you wanted to show off today in your live?
Well, I'll bring you back to that placemat again. Let me grab.
Yeah.
I'm so excited about this, and the
Oh, it's
fabric that I chose,
gorgeous.
it was actually a grunge, but I chose not to put the grunge side out. But this will be machine washable.
Yeah.
I love that idea that I can have this uh, in my dining room. I'm going to make several of them, and I'm going to just use the designs that So Steady comes out with because they are gorgeous.
Those are stunning, aren't they?
Yeah, oh gosh.
What we have had so much fun creating designs out of the collection, but I will say that Leonie made it really easy. When she creates her templates, she has what we like to call like her little play area. And she just lays out like 100 different designs that she's created with those templates.
Hmm.
So all we're doing is now making a lookbook with that and then turning them into embroidery, and it's amazing. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun to be able to share that. And we have our amazing Jessica here, who's done a lot of digitizing and is creating a lot of this in addition to what Leonie did. So it's been really, really kind of a learning experience. So yeah, we would love to continue to get feedback on what's working and what's not. And if there are things that need updating, we always load them onto the university course. So when you get your embroidery collection, this is important to know. When you get your embroidery collection on the inside page of that lookbook, there is a spot to say register your collection. That's so important because we will put updates on that collection for you. That's where you can go in and download if you lose your USB. And that is just kind of like your safety net. So you always have it and then you can, get extra things with it. So I highly encourage you to always register your collection, register your box, register.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You get everything that you bought and you paid for. So excellent. Well, this is stunning. And I thought you had one other one. Did you show the other one a little bit earlier and I missed it?
I did, but I'll grab it. It's right here.
Uh, so these are out of two separate embroidery collections. So the one that you're seeing now is the bonus one. That is the one that will be part of the spinning ribbon collection that will be sold
Mhm.
separate. The one that you're seeing here is actually going to be included in the box. And that is called our Shadow Digi Geese embroidery collection. So you're going to see a whole bunch of really gorgeous designs, but this is definitely one of my favorites. I think it's just a stunning design.
Yeah, and when So Steady sends it out to me to start playing with, I have so much fun.
Oh, absolutely. Well, thank you again, Anne. This has been really, really gorgeous to watch everything you're creating, and we can't wait to have you come back again next month.
All right, I will see y'all then.
Okay, thank you. And then don't forget to sign up, and hopefully we'll see you guys later today, 1 p.m. with Pam.
All right.
All
Bye,
right.
everybody.
Bye, everyone.